wanted to do a quick video. I was out last night getting food with some friends. We were kind of just getting drinks, got some burgers, just out socializing. I've been trying to get back into the habit of socializing more. And a buddy of mine, we were kind of having a conversation about just like politics in general, social media, all that good stuff, and how stupid talking about politics is. And for some people, you're going to watch this and you're probably going to be like offended, like, oh my God, you think talking about politics is stupid? How can talking about politics be stupid? I think in the grand scheme of things, and this is kind of what we talked about yesterday, if you're talking about politics because you have an interest in like geopolitics, or you're doing it for your own sake of, just knowledge for knowledge sake, or maybe you intend to use the information that you're learning for your own personal benefit, like sure, it's good to look at politics because politics might affect laws, or it might affect different policies. Different policies might affect where you live, and maybe you want to move because maybe certain policies are not favorable for you. Sure, perfectly good reason to follow politics. What I think is not advantageous and not useful, and this is kind of what we discussed last night, me and some friends, is when you feed into politics to the point where, one, politics becomes your identity, and you start arguing about things that don't really affect you in the grand scheme of things, but more importantly, you cannot control. So to be more specific, there's a lot of people online now who, and in real life, who argue about things like the Epstein list, who argue about things like Israel versus Palestine. Is Israel taking over the U.S.? Has the U.S. already been taken over by Israel? All that good stuff. And I'll see people debate about these topics. And again, if you're debating for the sake of like just knowledge for knowledge sake, which I think is perfectly fine, then do that. I think that's great. But if you're debating for any particular party or any particular viewpoint because you deep down truly believe it to be correct, and you feel like you, are fighting some like war by sharing your opinion, I'm going to say that's a pretty foolish thing to do. And the reason is because you can't control it. You can't control it. And you don't want to control it. I think that's the reality too that people don't want to acknowledge, is that most people, when they sit there on their computer, on Facebook or Twitter or Threads or anywhere, kind of like typing away their opinions on like Israel or Palestine, or who's bad, who's right, who's wrong, all the stuff. They're trying to fight a battle without having any skin in the game. And it's lame. There are ways to influence things. If you want to influence politics, become a politician. If you want to influence your community, go vote. Or go volunteer at certain locations. Go volunteer at your local shelter, for example. Whatever. Go get involved with your community in a helpful way. Dedicate your time to do these things. Dedicate your efforts, your labor, to benefiting your local society, or in the grand scheme of things, if you really want to care about like people overseas, go enlist in the army and go actually fight overseas. You can do that. Those things are within your control. And people are looking for, like, those groups and those organizations are looking for people like you to get involved. But what a lot of people do is they make politics their identity, and they pick sides, and they debate and they argue about things that they cannot control, that might not affect them that much. And it's pointless. It's wasted energy. It's wasted effort. It's wasted bandwidth. I say wasted bandwidth because you can only think about so many things throughout the day. You could be productive and you could be getting things done to better your society, to better your family, to better your personal situation. But instead, what people do is they spend their time and effort and mental bandwidth to talk about things like Israel and Palestine, just stuff that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So that was kind of our conversation last night. Like, just this idea of wasting time to engage in things that do not matter, that do not benefit you whatsoever. And I guess overall, the purpose of this video is to kind of share a lesson. And the lesson being, be mindful of the things you engage in debate about. Hopefully that sentence made sense. Like, if you're someone who's super anti-Israel, who cares? Who cares? Like, if you're going to be someone who's anti-Israel and you go up to someone who you believe is pro-Israel, you're not going to change their mind, most likely. So why are you debating them? You being mad about Israel doesn't stop what's happening in Palestine or whatever. So who cares? You not liking Israel does not stop whatever you think is going on with this Epstein list or with Donald Trump, whatever. So who cares, right? And if the reverse were true, who cares? If you think Palestine's doing something crazy, you complaining about it's not going to change anything. Who cares? Whatever conflict you can think of, you sitting there on your computer typing about it doesn't change that the conflict's happening. You're irrelevant in the grand scheme of this conflict being solved. And I'm gonna say this. I made a video about this before. It was like most of my videos. It was a video that went unwatched by most people because my channel gets like 5 viewers, like per video, ever. I get the worst reach on my YouTube channel, but it's okay. I think the people that watch consistently, the 10 of you here that continue to watch, that actually just makes me happy. I think I'd rather take a few people who watch consistently and feel like they're getting something out of these videos and have like a bunch of people who just watch for the sake of, like there's some people who watch stuff because they've shut off their brain and they see people as like there's a word I'm looking for that kind of means like idol, like a little fancy word, but I can't think of it right now. So let's just call them idol or like God. It's like people who watch like Andrew Tate religiously, and no matter what he says, no matter how ridiculous, or even like Donald Trump, anyone who's like of high status or celebrity status, there's people who like watch them, and no matter what they say, no matter how stupid the take is, no matter how illogical the thing is that they're saying, their followers will always agree solely because of the person saying it. Like, oh, Donald Trump said this thing, I agree with him completely. He said something that completely contradicts the thing he said earlier. I agree with that completely too. Doesn't it make sense? No. But will I continue to agree? Sure. Because I'm not really thinking. I'm just listening to the guy who's above me. That's stupid. And I don't want to be in that position ever. Like, my whole channel's think for yourself. So I appreciate the few people who watch my channel consistently, who just watch it because they want to learn an interesting viewpoint. But this whole idea of like being a keyboard warrior effectively, or being someone who's online just like typing away, arguing, it reminded me of like another video that I made where I was saying you can't really be like altruistic and you can't really be like a good person unless you become a billionaire. And obviously I'm exaggerating a little bit, but the whole purpose behind that video, just in case you didn't watch it, was that a lot of people will say that they want to fight the good fight or say that they want to influence things or change things, but they put very little time and effort into doing so. They do the most low resistance, low effort thing. Like during Black Lives Matter, I remember something that really like bothered me is there was one point, I think during Black Lives Matter, during like the George Floyd incident, I believe it was, there was, people were posting like black squares on Instagram, and it made me a bit frustrated because I thought to myself, this does nothing. Like nothing comes from this, nothing. You posted a black square, why? Because someone told you to? What good does this do for anybody? Does this bring the dude back? Does George Floyd get revived if we have enough black squares in all of our Instagram feeds? No. Are we raising money? Like, did Instagram or did Meta say that for every black square that someone posts on their feed, they'd be willing to give like $1,000 to this charity? No? Oh, okay. Huh. Does the black square, summon some kind of like God or some kind of like creature that'll rewrite history or change things or make things better for the people that we believe are marginalized? No? Huh. So why are we doing this? Like, what's the purpose of doing this? We're just doing it because someone else did it. We all follow, not we, I shouldn't say we because I didn't do it. I thought it was stupid. But people do it because they're following other people. And they want to demonstrate online that they're a part of a cause without having to actually put any actual skin in the game. If you really cared about things like black, and I'm not, I'm not the biggest supporter of Black Lives Matter, to be honest. But if you were a supporter, that's perfectly fine. But do something. Like, go out of your way to volunteer in an organization. Give your money, give your labor, give your effort, whatever, to these causes if you really care about the causes. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. But don't pretend like you care. And this is like the same people who are very pro or anti-Israel or Palestine. Be pro or anti either of those groups. That's perfectly fine. But put your money where your mouth is. Go to these events. Go donate your labor, your money, your time. Things that are actually valuable. Things that actually give you skin in the game. Go become a politician. Like I said in that video, go dedicate decades of your life to being a billionaire so you can fight the billionaires that you believe are causing so much social unrest or social harm. Do that. Until you're willing to do that, then all this fighting, all this debating is pointless. It's meaningless. It's just theater, effectively. And it makes you look lame. Because it shows that you really have no real capacity to do anything like besides just bitch and moan online. Which is pointless. It's pointless. It doesn't mean anything. So, I don't know. That's kind of the idea that I wanted to share with you in this video. If you're someone online who's just kind of complaining, if you're someone who's like just debating solely because you maybe want to change someone's mind, but realistically speaking, the person you're debating has such a opposite viewpoint of you, you're never going to change their mind. You're wasting your time. You could be doing so many more productive things with your time, with your effort, with your bandwidth, whatever. Do those things instead. Stop debating online. You'll change no one's opinion. It doesn't matter. You're not going to open anyone's eyes to anything in particular unless they were already in your camp to begin with, in which case you're speaking into, like, you're preaching to the choir. You're speaking to nothing. Like, they already agree with you. So what's the point of, like, doubling down on this take? It means nothing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to yap too much, but that was kind of it. I just wanted to say all that stuff. If you liked the video, click like. If not, leave a comment, get mad at me. Who knows? But yeah, see you in the next video. Peace out. Bye.